hook! An hook! Auf den Boden! Auf den Boden! Auf den Boden! Auf den Boden! Van! Van!
Hey guys, have you ever been to an airsoft field and been yelled at? If you have, hit that subscribe button. The comment section is completely out of control, and that's what keeps this channel alive. Gotta thank you guys for that. And also, today's sponsor for my BBs is Vulcan. Unlike that phone you're holding right now, these are made in America. Today, we're going to be going over the Snowwolf PPSH. Now, I don't know a lot about this gun, so this is going to be kind of a funny video if you ask me. But as you can see here, it's got a charging handle. You can rock that back. And it pops back whenever you shoot. Now, this is their electric blowback model with the real wood finish right here. Pretty sexy. You know, you can scratch it up all you want and then blame your friend for it. So yeah, the charging handle, you need that to re-rack it. After that, fires right there. These ones come with the drum mag and the stick mag, but honestly the drum mag looks so much cooler, and you look like an operator when you hold it like this. Now, the chrono FPS on this is about 350, so that's shooting pretty hot for an electric blowback rifle. Can't complain about that one whatsoever. But you know airsofters love their tactical maracas. You gotta love when you fill these things up and then all they do is shake. Now to access your magazine, you gotta unscrew this part little right here, do that, and this whole part pops off. Now you fill all your BBs up here, they're not supposed to be down here. Whoever did that's a complete idiot, dude. I'm mad at whoever did that one. Someone's get fired on my crew today. So once you got your magazine ready, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cool little windy thing down here and scroll it. That will push BBs into the chamber, and now you're ready to fire. Once you put your magazine in, give it a little tap. You know, you gotta look cool when you do it. You rack it back. Now we're firing. Now, as I said, this has semi and safety and single and full. All you gotta do is switch this little lever down here. I think I fucking broke it. Alright, now we got it in semi. Isn't that pretty cool? Pretty nifty. Yeah. Now we're gonna do some shooting drills with this, and we'll get right back to you guys.
Shooter ready.
As you can tell there, that was probably one of my best times. Pretty lightweight rifle, honestly. Can't complain there. Pretty nice grip, ergonomical. Also pretty nice, pretty nice. To have an historical representation, I'm going to have Mr. Vermax man show you how this gun works.
Alright, here's our gun. So going from tip to butt, we have our very nice fixed front sight post. It is just a little sight, you know. Next is our sling mount. Here, this is where you put your leather sling through. We have our very nice open barrel for air. Our 71 round drum mag. And the nice little paddle that unloads it. Here's our charging handle. This is electric blowback, so it goes back and forth when you shoot. Here's our fixed rear sight. Here is your safety selector. We have all three different modes. So we have full, semi, and safe. Our trigger. And our nice real wood buttstock with this part. Alright, and now let's do the trigger pull. So let's see how many pounds our trigger is. Reset it. I'd say about a 5-pound trigger. Yeah, about a 5-pound trigger. And yeah, this is the PPSH 41.
Like any airsoft video, fuck safety. I'm gonna have him here shoot me in the back to show how good the range is on this PPSH. I'm gonna head down this way, he's gonna be down there.
Octung, do not try this at home. We're trained professionals.
Yep.
As you can tell, that shit would fuck you up in a real war. Definitely give him the Snowball Airsoft PPSH. Solid 8 out of 10 on my book. What would you rate it?
Probably 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
It's got some decent range. He was able to zap me all the way down there. Got me pretty good in the leg. Look at that, it even broke the skin. Alright, well that's Lowkxy, and I'm signing off for today.
Skinny as a pencil, smart as a whip, and possibly the scariest man currently living.
She's an MK Ultra victim, I can't get her out of my system. I wanna see her, touch her, hug her, kiss her, fuck her, love her, be with her, pay a message.
Get down! Get down! Get down!
About to try my smoothie.
You piece of shit.
Certified hood class.
I sit at home and talk to people only on the internet. My crush is getting ripped by some guy she met on the internet. I'm watching my crush get ripped by a guy on the internet. I live every day of my life on the internet. On the internet. On the internet. On the internet.
What's up, guys? I'm Lowkxy.egb, and I've heard a lot of you guys want a niche kit to run at your local airsoft field to flex on all the 12-year-olds who don't actually have money. I'm going to show you how to do that today. So today, I'm going to be showing off my EGB kit, specifically the 3-FAR loadout.
Play it!
Hanging on the sky, 99 red balloons go by.
Two to the one to the three. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat.
Now, this is something that we ran at Shally Assault at Milsom West back in November. This kit honestly goes pretty hard. A lot of little kids don't have it, so they're like, oh, that's a cool Black Ops 2 kit. All right, so to get into it today, we're gonna start off by showing off the uniform first. The uniform specifically is from Leo Kohler. This is a Leo Kohler combat top. And pants, these are also made by Leo Kohler. These are the KSK cut combat pants. They're pretty distinguishable, especially by their built-in knee pads they've got right here. And then they've got also the straps that secure the pockets down, especially when doing parachuting and stuff like that, which EGB does. I'm gonna go over what I'm running on my head most of the time. He's running it right now. Shout out to Zazpeak. I'm gonna have a cool little thing down here. It's gonna show up as subscribe to Zazpeak. And you guys can go subscribe to Zazpeak. All right, so for the helmet, we have the OpsCore high cut with, I want to say this is a Roman Kermaz made cover. I don't know, because I believe there are original ones. I see them in KSK reference photos a lot from 2017. It's actually an FMA OpsCore. They're pretty cheap and affordable, which is nice, and you still get that nice look, and they're really durable. It's not like the crappy Amazon ones that you buy that feel like they're going to break apart if you accidentally drop it. We do have an actual OpsCore mount on the front of it, as you can see right here. That's just to hold on my GoPro and night vision. This is what I was running at Shally with the cover on top. I'm going to be removing the cover for the next couple events. I got different plans for it. I'm excited to make videos on that. We've got the subdued German flag on the side. This goes pretty crazy. I do have two. I usually have one on the other side, just not right now. The cover, as I mentioned, the way that you can tell the cooler ones from the Miltech fake garbage ones, which are actually kosher, which is funny, is going to be this stretch material in between along with the bungee cord. Most of the Miltech ones, not only are they going to be a different color variation of Flectarn that's completely off, but they're also not going to be, they're going to be just a straightforward basically cover with a few bits of Velcro. This one's, you clearly, as I mentioned before, has that stretch fabric along with the bungee, which is nice. You've also got the 2 smaller Velcro sides for patches on them. And the back side, you got the large one for like a battery pack, something like that, counterweights, whatever, and a few smaller ones on top. Nothing crazy. This isn't like an insane setup, as I'm going to be showing off in a few other videos for some German headgear, especially like the TC3000 or the APH, which are both pretty niche and very cool. This is pretty standard for like most NATO units, honestly, especially Special Forces. Up next, because we run Kosher Eye Pro in this house, these are the Revision Sawfly shooting glasses. Currently, I have mine with the orange lens on. As I mentioned in the video, you see this in a lot of 2015 EGB reference photos with that orange color. I absolutely love it, especially how it looks with Flecktarn. That's what I've got mine on currently. But in this pouch, these are the Bundeswehr issued ones. I just want to show that off real quick. You got the 4-letter Bund mark on the side. Extremely cool, kind of a niche piece of kit to have. So usually what this package comes with is you have the black lens. You do see these in quite a few KSK and EGB reference photos. And the clear ones, which you also see in a lot of photos. I'm actually using the clear ones to do a 1-to-1 2015 EGB kit, so I'm excited to make a video on that and show everybody. What else that comes in this package is obviously the instructions on how to change the lens, how to treat them and everything like that. Bundeswehr issued in the top corner. It's very cool because it's all in German. Then we've got the cleaning spray too. Again, this is all in German too. It's just kind of one of those niche, like nerdy things that I absolutely love to have with this kit. You got the storage case, and that's about it that comes with it. You also have the band that attaches to the back of these. I know that some airsoft fields require that, which is pretty annoying, but whatever. So yeah, like I was saying, this is a pretty niche piece of kit to have. It's a very cool piece though, and one of my favorite additions to add. For the balaclava, we're running the Potomac tan balaclava. This is used by USMC, but a lot of EGB and KSK members use it, so it's pretty cool. It definitely goes well with the rest of the kit as well. For the ear pro, we're wearing the Comtac 2s right now. These are FARB. I should have the Comtac 3s or XPIs, but we ignore that. Alright, then to get onto the plate carrier, this is usually the coolest part of the kit, because this goes between my EGB kits and my newer KSK ones. We've got the Gen 5 Linderhof Tactic plate carrier. It was first issued to KSK roughly around like 2014, and slowly started seeing EGB get them, especially around like 2017, 2018. So this one right here is the Bundeswehr issued one. My plate carrier itself is actually made by Roman Kermaz, but there's 2 different versions of the LHT Gen 5. The way to tell if it's a civilian or if it's the Bundeswehr one is going to be the mesh color of it. The mesh on the inside of this is going to be the tan. That's how you know it's the Bundeswehr version and not the civilian one. The civilian one, which is actually seen in EGB reference photos, is going to be the Steingrau fabric that you see on the outside. So it's going to be all the same color throughout that. Really just a nerdy thing that not many people will know. You can kind of get away with the Steingrau one. Up next is the pouches. We got the Linderhof Tactic multi-caliber pouches. These hold the G36 mags really well. The G36 airsoft mags are known for being notoriously fat and not being able to fit into normal mag size pouches because of the nubs. A lot of people will shave them off. I don't, because I like hooking them all together because it's funny. We got the pistol pouches right here. Don't really run pistol magmat in there. It's more for snacks and stuff like that. You can put some like fruit gummies in there and they're pretty good. Up next we got the radio pouch. The radio pouch looks pretty cool, especially with the radio actually being in it. We've got the IR glow sticks and just a normal chem light. Pretty cool. We got the cat tourniquet on the side. Up next we got the IFAK, which is mounted upside down. This is seen in a lot of photos. I put a few right here. We're gonna have to display like cool photo right. Like there's gonna be a cool photo that pops up. The IFAK is upside down. It makes it easier to access because all you have to do is pull it down and the whole entire insert will fall out. It's kind of hard to do it when it's flipped up this way to have that whole entire momentum get them out. On the back, we've got the tourniquet pouch right here. That's kind of my own thing. It's a private purchase pouch. Tasmanian Tiger made that one specifically. Then we got the Linderhof issued, Bundeswehr issued one, hydro pack right here with the handcuffs also. It's just a cool thing to tie in the rest of the kit. On the back, we got the Petzl repelling gloves. Everyone loves these banana gloves. So it kind of breaks up the kit and adds another color in that you're not really like used to seeing with a lot of airsoft kits, I guess. On the side, we got the 3FARB GP pouch. These kind of look cool with it. I like adding the few pouches in Troppentarn because it separates it from the rest of the kit. And we got another Flecktarn pouch right there. On the front, we don't run multicam on this shit. On the bottom, it's kind of hard to see in this, is I'm running this dangler pouch right here. This is seen in a few reference photos. I liked running it at Shally. Put a lot of extra snacks and stuff like that in there. I also have my glow sticks, just stuff that I could easily grab. I left my phone in there a few times. Pretty nice, honestly. Underneath that, we've got the Eagle Industries inner belt on the outside of a Flectron belt. We've got the Black Hawk monkey tail right here connected to the rigging part of the Eagle Industries belt itself. We've got the grenade pouch, another magazine pouch, which doesn't have a magazine in it right now, of course. We've got another dump pouch on the back. And then we've got the 40mm shells right here. That's good for more snacks and stuff like that. You can fit a lot of granola bars in there. Now this is the G36 KA4. For the base rifle, I am using the Tokyo Marui NGRS G36. I absolutely love this thing. The electric blowback is sick on it. Now, it does have a lower FPS, but I've noticed that it does send the BB soaring in a pretty straight line, so I cannot complain whatsoever about that. Now, let's get into the actual rifle itself and what makes it a KA4. So first off, we have the IDZ stock. Now, this is seen on every single KA4 build, and we've also got the rail on top, which is also made by IDZ. Now, most of the time on airsoft retail websites, you will see these combined together. Just depends on if they're in stock or not. So it's really not that hard to source those two things. Now, let's get into something that's a little bit harder to source, mostly because you have to 3D print it yourself. I know that they are making gas blowback rifles that do have the proper handguard, but they don't really fit on the AEG versions that well. So the handguard is called the H-key handguard. Now, you see this on every KA4 build, once again. But the problem is that we have to 3D print them for our rifles. If you couldn't tell, mine is cracking a little bit towards the back. I do plan to get a new one printed soon, just haven't gotten around to that yet. I've had this one for about 1.5 years now, so it lasted me quite some time. Now, on top of the H-key handguard, I've got the LM01 laser and flashlight. Now, this is one of the worst flashlights I have ever used on an airsoft or even on a Nerf gun at this point. Not a big fan of it. My bulb finally burnt out, and I do not plan to replace it. I just use a Surefire inside of it whenever I need to play at night or whatever reason. Now, underneath the H-key handguard, we have the Magpul grip. I do like this grip. It's nothing crazy. I'm not going to do anything special on it. You just see it on a lot of KA4 builds, so that's why I've got mine right there. Now, on top of the IDZ rail, we've got the EOTech EXPS and the G33 magnifier. Now, the G33 magnifier isn't seen in every single photo, but it's seen in most. That's why I'm using it. It's also nice for PIDing targets from a farther distance to tell if they're on actually Rust 4 or NATO. That's what I find myself using it for mostly. I really don't use airsoft sights. Both of those are made by Evolution Gear, and they are very nice. I cannot complain whatsoever about them. Another kind of key defining part about this gun that I like that makes it very accurate is going to be the selector switch markings. Mine has the S, E, and the F. Now, you see this on the German Bund rifles, especially with their MP5s and stuff like that, and you see it on their G36s as well. It's just one of those niche little parts about the kit that most people aren't really even going to ever notice, besides me, and it makes me pretty happy, so that's why I like it. Now, for the most rare piece on this rifle is going to be the suppressor. That is the Rotex Gen 3 suppressor. Now, you might be wondering, why is this rare? Well, it's actually because the airsoft company that did make them discontinued them about 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. So you don't see them on the market anymore. Now, people use them for their 417s and everything like that. However, you do see it in quite a few G36 reference photos. Overall, I absolutely love this gun. It is one of my favorite airsoft guns I own. It's much more comfortable to use than the G36 KA2. The KA1 is pretty much the same exact thing, just a different handguard at the end of the day and different stock, but it feels the exact same. I do definitely plan to do a longer breakdown on this gun and what makes it kosher in the future. But today, this is just a simple what I ran on it at Shally at Milsom West. And like I said, this kit will flex on the average 12-year-olds because they're not going to have any of this stuff, and they can't afford it either, so it's kind of cool.
Broke ass.
Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Keep it on, it's rocking the place. CA, I got nothing to prove. Pay attention, my intention is the boss to move. I drink cards and cans and bottles and sections. Between the turntables, keep the vodka and the mix. I'm Mike G, I got the juicy
What the fuck is the Obi bro?
Fat piece of fucking shit. What's up, YouTube? Today I'm gonna show you a Kino ass kit. A kit you'll never see at your local airsoft field, and even probably the whole state of the US. This is pretty cool, and you're gonna flex on every 12-year-old, and they're gonna have no idea what you're wearing, so it's a pretty cool flex.
Play that shit, boy.
Good morning!
Showing my multi-turn KSK airsoft operator kit today. So this kit, not one-to-one, we'll be doing a video on that later on, but it's gonna be pretty cool today. So to start off, we're gonna go right over the 416. Look at this beauty. Make sure you flags with it, because we're all about gun safety on this channel. Make sure your fingers on the trigger.
Whoa, relax.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so on this 416, this is the A4 build, I'm 90% sure. Probably wrong, don't really care. It's YouTube, you guys aren't gonna fact check it.
Lowkxy's an idiot for this one.
So to start off, we're gonna go over the laser sight on it. This is the LM01, the shittiest flashlight ever fucking made. I don't know why they made this flashlight, it sucks ass, I don't know why they still use it. Next up, we've got the EOTech and a magnifier. This is probably the coolest and most Kino piece on this whole entire rifle itself. Everything else is pretty ass besides the peanut butter color. So far I've got to get this refixed. If you didn't notice, that whole selection switch all fucked up. Airsoft guns are cool. I love toy guns. Toy guns are cool. Shout out to toy guns. Play toy guns on the weekend. If you don't play toy guns on the weekend, you're a cool person and probably have a life. Alright, let's get into the kit itself now. So what we are wearing is the Hexonia OpScore right here. The way you can tell it's a Hexonia is you got these stupid ass circles in this piece. Now this is meant for a slap plate. You know like what they did in World War I? The trench raiders and the snipers, they had the cool little fucking plates they put on their helmets. Well, for some reason the Germans thought this is a great idea, we should keep doing this. So they fucking put cool little Velcro things. Do they run them? No. So if you want to turn around, usually on this you would have the cool little worm dial, but yeah, I'm still working on that. Like I said, this is an airsoft video, not an impression video. Alright, let's get into the plate carrier now. He's wearing the Linderhof Tactic Gen 5. With this, he's got his taco pouches on, his radio pouch, his medical pouch right here, his IFAK, pretty cool. Upside down, even more operator. On the back, we got the tourniquet pouch, this little thing right here, a hydro pack, cool handcuffs so I can arrest airsofters. Then we got the pencil gloves so we can rappel into the airsoft field from a helicopter, and a GP pouch. Everything you need for airsoft on the kit, obviously. Now let's get in the cool part of the kit. The reason why you guys are all watching this video. Not for the fucking Squidward water bottle, but actually for the multi-prong G3 cuts. Now you won't see this pattern anywhere in the United States. Why? Because I'm Kino like that. These ones are the G3 cut. They were made by Roman Kermaz. Shout out to Roman Kermaz. Thank you. Get the fucking water bottle out of the shop.
Leave my Sigma alone. It's my Sigma juice.
Now, if you show up to the field and your local airsoft field, they're gonna have no idea what this camouflage pattern is. They're probably gonna be like, this is some shitty version of multicam that I bought from Amazon. It's not.
What the Sigma?
And I would say that's about the end of this kit review. Not much else to say. It's an airsoft toy gun kit. You guys should all subscribe to Lowkxy and no one else in this video.
What is the coolest camo?
I haven't even started the video yet, and I can already smell the neckbeards in the comment section.
2 to the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat.
Lowkxy. What a cool camo pattern.
enjoyed by only the most scholarly people. This is Flecktarn. This is Flecktarn. Even this is Flecktarn. So what really is Flecktarn? Well, in 1976, the West German Bundeswehr began camo trials so they could replace their moleskin uniforms they had been using since the early 50s. The pattern at the time was known as Flecktarn Muster B. It was put up against 3 other patterns and was proven to be most effective. However, even with this evidence, the Bundeswehr did not actually adopt it until 1989. This was seen with the fall of the Berlin Wall and unification of Germany. Now that the Bundeswehr was both East and West Germany combined, it quickly filled in as a new camo for all uniforms. Flecktarn before 2005 was quite vibrant and bright. However, with many other NATO countries finding themselves in warmer and tropical environments like Afghanistan and Iran, the pattern itself was quickly made less vibrant. This is the reason for the big difference of patterns you may see in the market. I'll actually get back to this point in a minute. So why is this Flecktarn? Well, the translation for Flecktarn is actually spot camo. The name itself is applied to all spot patterns in the same shape and layout. Now, Flecktarn, the way most of you know it as, is actually called Fünf-Farben-Tarndruck, 5 FTD or 5 farb for short. Now, what most know as Troppentarn is really called Drei-Farben-Tarndruck, 3 FTD or 3 farb for short. The number stands for the amount of colors in the pattern itself. Here's the 5 in the 5 farb. And now here's a 3 in the 3 farb. Now this pattern started its trials in the early 90s as the Bundeswehr saw more action in the Middle East with other NATO countries. Now in 1999, the pattern was officially issued to the Bundeswehr. It was intended for dry climates with modest foliage cover, and in its trials there were about 3 different variations of 3 farb. However, they all contain green, brown, and the khaki color you see. The name most people know it as is going to be Troppentarn, which is actually accurate to its translation being tropical camo. However, a common misconception people make with 3 farb is calling it Westentarn. Westentarn is its own camo pattern that has 3 colors just like 3 farb, however it excludes the green and replaces it with a pinkish pale gray. Westentarn was only used by German special operations in Afghanistan and a few private purchase cases in the general Bundeswehr. It was used around 2004 and honestly you don't see much of it after that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, pre-2005 Flecktarn was often very bright and vibrant. You can especially see this when putting pre- and post-uniforms side by side. I personally prefer the newer style as it blends in much better, however pre-2005 Flecktarn definitely is an iconic look. Now, different brands of Flecktarn will also show slight differences in colorization. While the pattern will remain true to standards, fading will often cause uniform pieces to look different. However, if you buy fake Flecktarn made by companies like Miltech, the pattern's colors will be very off. Here I have a side-by-side example of the Miltech reproduction pattern on a uniform and a uniform piece made by Leo Kohler. So now you know the true name of Flecktarn and Troppentarn. Do with that as you will, honestly. However, in future videos, I'll be referencing it a lot as the proper names, while probably still calling it Flecktarn and Troppentarn occasionally. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you probably should subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm always making weekly new content, and it's pretty cool on this channel. I definitely recommend staying around and hitting that sub button.
Where the fuck is the
Cocaine for my breakfast. Pussy boy talk reckless. He might end up on the stretcher. Fuck with my set. Get wet like a pussy. Sauce what I spill. All I kill.
People who are getting on my nerves on VR chat.
Pussy niggas Rice Krispie. Fucking white bitch on the 6B. 6 stars like GTA kill me. It's more money I'm getting. If a nigga try to take wig splitting. Shouts out to my zone. Hey, kill my bros on bitch off radio. I'm like Mumu, Liza, Soldier.
Das Land Thüringen liegt auf Platz 15. Unbedingt sehenswert die Landeshauptstadt Erfurt mit der einzigartigen Krämerbrücke. Ebenso die ehemalige Residenzstadt Weimar, in der Goethe und Schiller die klassische Epoche prägten.
I saw this go down on the interwebs and I...
What the fuck? You don't even know if I say anime is good or bad yet.
What's up guys, today this is Lowkxy and I've got the Tokyo Marui G36.
Dead man walking! Hit! Block! Hit! Take it slow.
He got hit right there. We got some guys in the wood line over here.
Helicopter!
They're hit.
They're hit?
Yep. That's coming from over here. He's right there. Got him.
We got him.
What's up guys, another video on the internet today. I'll be honest, I've been looking forward to making this video for a bit now since this cover low-key looks amazing. What I've got here is the Roman Kurmaz 3-Farb OpsCore helmet cover. While that's a mouthful to say and doesn't look good for a clickbait YouTube video name, this helmet cover was a special piece done by Mr. Roman Kurmaz himself, and it's honestly made different from most other helmet covers he makes. So let's get right into this. So you might be wondering, who is Roman Kurmaz? Well, Roman Kurmaz is a Ukrainian gear maker who specializes in making 4XL Rhodesian brushstroke cries for grown men in the USA. Jokes aside, he does make some quality gear. It just so happens the main consumer is definitely a certain phenotype. That being said, I'm not sure how much I would recommend purchasing from him right now, because obviously with the Ukraine war going on, his back orders have grown immensely. The last group order had taken about a year or so to receive. However, the gear is honestly still very high quality, so if you are willing to wait, it's definitely worth it. So why is this helmet cover different than the ones you would normally receive from Roman? Well, this cover was specifically commissioned to be as close to the 2017 Hexonia Troppentarn covers. What is the main focus on this piece? Well, that would be the fact that it does not have the brown stretch fabric seen on many other Hexonia covers. This brown color was replaced with Troppentarn, and honestly, I could not be happier with the look. While KSK ran both styles with a 3-Farb fabric or brown stretch fabric, this is a very small detail that adds a feeling of authenticity to the kit. So for a gear review's sake, let's actually review the cover itself rather than be a goober about authenticity. So to get into it, the 3-Farb pattern is basically exact to that of the Bundeswehr. Roman definitely nailed it with whatever fabric he was using. Overall, the stitching is great on the helmet. I didn't notice any weak points that will degrade over time. As you can see here, we have multiple Velcro spots. 2 on the sides for smaller flags, 1 on top, which is nice for IR strobe lights, and then lastly 1 on the back. I use this one for counterweights. Flipping the cover inside out, we have where Roman marks the helmet cover with his own brand name. When this cover is on the helmet, it looks insanely hard. The sizing for mine is roughly a medium-large, meant for my medium-large OpsCore obviously, and I've heard multiple rumors about it, the sizing being off. However, this one turned out fine. There aren't any like super loose parts, and the cover actually does cover the helmet. unlike leaving small spaces that a lot of the crappy reproduction ones do. So overall for the review, I cannot complain at all with this 3-farb cover. Not only does it look great, but it is also built well, accurate to the impression, and fits perfect on Ops Corps style helmets. I would recommend something like this to people wanting to put together a German Special Forces kit. Roman did an excellent job on this cover, and I really do not have any critiques or complaints. This cover gets a solid 9 out of 10 in my book. If you liked today's video, make sure to like this, leave a funny comment, and definitely subscribe. I plan to make videos weekly now. I know I've kind of messed up a few times, and I've definitely missed a few upload dates, but we're trying to stay on track with that now. Overall, I cannot thank you guys enough for the support I've been getting on this YouTube channel. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and I'll see you in the next one. German Fallschirmjäger. When most people hear that word, they think of the German paratroopers that fought the Allies in World War II. While that is the name for the airborne forces of the Luftwaffe, it is also the name for the current Bundeswehr airborne forces as well. Today on this channel, we're doing not only a deep dive into the modern day Fallschirmjäger, but also into a very specific regiment within it. Who is Fallschirmjäger Regiment 26? What is their purpose amongst the Bundeswehr? The Fallschirmjäger Regiment, according to the Bundeswehr website, employs German paratroopers in a spectrum of land operations. They act as first responders and carry out military evacuation operations and provide support for special forces operations. They are part of the German Rapid Forces Division. Overall, the structure of the gear and training makes the regiment more suited for airborne operations, which includes jumping from aircraft and independent combat in the middle of enemy forces. The regiment would be and is used to hold crucial areas of combat while advancing infantry forces arrive. The 26th Regiment was established in 2015 and currently has about 1,800 members. There's a total of 11 companies in this regiment. So now that you know what the 26th Regiment is, what impression am I even doing? Today, I will be showing off my 2017 Fallschirmjäger 26th Regiment kit. This impression is inspired by a photo set that was done in Saarbrücken, Germany during training. Note that this kit is not a one-to-one and I do not consider it fully completed yet. I have quite a few changes and things I would like to add to consider it complete, and I'll actually cover this at the end of the video. However, this is still an accurate impression of what Fallschirmjäger Regiment 26 used in 2017. To start things off, here we have the base uniform in 5-farb. For the top, I'm using the Lowkxy field shirt. We can see this top being used in reference photos both here and here. Now these tops are quite common amongst the Fallschirmjäger Regiment and EGB. They were made with a close collaboration with Lowkxy and experienced specialists to improve the past combat shirts. One of the key differences I wanted to point out is going to be the chest pockets. Having worn the KSK one, I often feel that the buttons pushed into my chest from the weight of the plate carrier itself. On these combat tops specifically, they fixed that by not adding buttons anymore and actually including Velcro instead. Another nice feature of these tops are the ventilated underarms. This is amazing for the summer and really hasn't been an issue for the winter either. On the sleeves, we have the sewn in German flag, and underneath that, we have a large space for Velcro. Also on these shirt sleeves, we have 2 large pockets. This is awesome for storing tourniquets and other medical information. The pants are the Lowkxy Einsatzkampfhosen. These are designed in the KSK style, and the key features of these pants are going to be the built-in knee pads, the large pockets on the side, and the straps that secure these pockets when troops are airborne. One of my favorite comparisons with these pants is comparing them to the US World War II paratrooper pants. Side by side, it definitely looks like the two have a pretty common design. You can especially see this in the reinforced knee pads and the pocket layout. For the helmet, I am running the MSA TC APH. Now the model I have here is a reproduction one made by the Gear Locker. It is an extremely accurate reproduction, however the only reason I am actually using it over my real APH is simply the color. Looking at these photos, you might notice that there are not many APHs even being used. However, the ones that you do see are in that OD color. The main helmet you're going to see in these reference photos is the Sonic 3 helmets. However, outside of the time period for this impression, this regiment uses a variety of NATO helmets. This includes the APH, however even those reference photos are still made rare amongst other helmets. The reason for this is that the APH was originally meant for only KSK. EGB would only receive these helmets on deployments attached to KSK. However, many more began to receive these helmets, especially MP and people that went on special shooting courses. The eye protection that is being used is the Bundeswehr issued Sawfly shooting glasses with the black lens. I covered these briefly in my past 3FARB EGB kit video if you are curious about them, so I'm going to link that up towards the top if you want to check that out. For the ear pro, I'm using the knockoff Comtac XPIs. This is definitely something I plan on changing and upgrading, however sadly, by the time I was making this video, I couldn't get the real ones in. For the plate carrier, I'm using the Linderhof Tactic Gen 5. This carrier is quite unique to the kit and is seen on almost every individual in this photo shoot. The LHT Gen 5 is specifically meant for German Special Forces units, and you don't really see it anywhere else. Now you can buy these plate carriers commercially, however it will have one main flaw. The Bundeswehr issued Gen 5s have a tan mesh on the inside, which you can see here. The commercial ones will have the same Steingrau colored mesh that you see on the front and back plate bags. To keep it accurate to the impression, I have my LHT pouches in 5FARB set up in a specific way. On the front of the plate bag and on the first strip of Molly on the cummerbund, I have 5FARB multi-caliber taco pouches. This specific pouch is seen in countless Regiment 26 photos, but also in many other German reference photos. On the left side, which is extremely common in reference photos, I have the 5FARB LHT IFAC. On the right cummerbund, I have an upside-down LHT 5FARB double mag pouch. Now there's actually two reasons for this placement. The first reason is it is seen in very specific reference photos. The second reason is I don't actually use it for magazines, but rather large smoke grenades. Being upside down makes them much easier to reach and have ready. On the back of the plate carrier, I have the LHT Hydro Pack. On that, I have a frag pouch and another upside down magazine pouch. The reason for this odd placement is from a specific photo in the 2017 photo set. The upside down mag pouch is not meant for the actual individual in kit, but anyone else in the squad to have access to when needed. Overall, both the look and the feel of this plate carrier is amazing. I finally upgraded to the real LHT one from a Roman one. I couldn't be happier with the feeling of authenticity that this gives to the kit. For the gloves, I've got the Banana Petzl repelling gloves. As you can see here, they're quite common in this specific set of reference photos. I honestly think they're a cool addition to the kit, and it really helps break up the camo pattern and just adds another color to the kit. The rifle that is seen in these photos is the G36K-A4. What makes the K-A4 special and different from other G36 builds is going to be the handguard, rail, and the stock. While there are other smaller differences that also make the G36K-A4 different, these are the main features of the build that make it really stand out. So let's jump into what features we have with this G36. To start off, we have the LLM01. This is the laser and flashlight of the gun. This odd looking light is seen in many German reference photos and is honestly a staple of any German impression kit. Moving down, we have the H-key handguard. This is another key piece at making this the proper German G36K-A4. Moving on, we have the rail and the stock. These pieces are a part of the German IDZ project and once again act as a staple part to make our Airsoft G36 a KA4. On the top of the IDZ project rail, we have an EOTech XPS-3 with the appropriate G33 magnifier. Overall, these small but important features really tie in the kit. My only flaw with this rifle for this impression is having it painted and not kept black like you see in this set of reference photos. As I had mentioned at the start of this video, I do not consider myself done with this impression kit yet. While this could pass as a valid impression for the Fallschirmjäger Regiment 26, I really want to get it down as close as possible. So you might be wondering, what changes do I plan to make to this kit? The first is simple. As I already mentioned it before, I plan to purchase the real Comtac XPIs. After this upgrade, I also plan to purchase the Bornak Air Rescue Harness. This is the specific black harness many individuals are wearing in this photo shoot. After this, I also plan to buy the Sonic 3 helmet, which looks very similar to the APH, but slightly different shape towards the ear cutouts. Lastly, as a much smaller detail, I plan to purchase the correct German standard issue HAIX boots. While all these changes are quite small, I still plan to do an update to this video in the future, just to make it more accurate. So that's all of today's impression kit video. I hope you all enjoy this, as this is a new style of video I honestly want to go forward with on this channel. Let me know in the comment section what you all think about this style of video and how I can change it to make it better. I have been looking forward to posting this one for a minute now, and I cannot explain enough how much I appreciate the support I've been getting on this channel. At the time of uploading this, I've already hit 400 subs, and honestly, I have always wanted to make content like this, so I cannot explain how happy this makes me. That's all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
When we first set off for STEP, we expected a large Russian element at the hospital. We expected contact. Much to our surprise, the Russian forces hadn't even gotten to the buildings in front of it yet. That initial night, we waited multiple hours for a counterattack on the hospital. No one ever came. At roughly 0300, our platoon leader sent us on a small hit on the housing across from us. The hit was successful, as we took no casualties. The goal was to draw Rusfor out to attack the well-defended hospital. But even with our attempt, they never engaged. Early into the morning, I was put on watch on the 4th floor. At 0600, my watch was just about to end. However, in the distance, we noticed multiple shadows moving through the tree lines. About 10 minutes later, all radios were going off, as Rusfor had entered the building. All I can remember is waking up the rest of the platoon while grenades went off on the 1st floor. At this point, we knew we had been surrounded. The initial attack was on the embassy across from the hospital. With this, we moved our machine guns to keep any more Russians from entering the hospital. this point in time, the Russian forces started taking heavy casualties at the embassy. While they had still made it on the first floor, they were not able to reinforce those troops. However, on the western side, the Russians began another attack, once again getting to the walls of the hospital. We again switched sides of the roof with machine guns and bright lights.
Hold on, don't move. No, we're good. Okay, we're good. We got 2 on the ground, and they're all back behind that little, like, fucking container. Oh my God. Well, things gotta eat. You see it? Hold on.
That's smoke down there. It came from that little hut right there.
Who's our med?
I don't know.
Hey, let's get out of where we're at right here and get here.
Yeah.
Change our firing position.
Gotcha.
Pull everything. Okay, those are our guys.
Those are our guys down there?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
The lights, they came around from here, pushed them.
Right
So
on.
They might be in. Yeah. Those are our dudes. Oh, Russian fuck boys! Let's get a fucking chair.
And I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe. And I get more ass than a toilet seat.
What's up, guys? Lowkxy is here with another video today. This Chris Tyson situation is absolutely insane. Crazy to think that another YouTuber got caught.
Lowkxy, when did you become a reaction channel?
To be honest, this video has absolutely nothing to do with any situation. I could give a monotone fence-sitting take while using words like poopy, which would get me many updates on freaking Reddit. But there's 100,000 videos like that already.
Lowkxy, I hate you. I fell for your clickbait.
Look, I'm sorry the algorithm works the way it does. But I'll tell you what, if this video hits 1,000 views, I myself will call Putin at 3 a.m. Well, if you haven't left yet, you might be wondering, what's this video actually about? To be honest, I just wanted to show off my new opening for my channel, so...
Play that shit, boy.
As I mentioned before, nothing crazy today. I do apologize if you are my 8 regular viewers for this lazy upload, but I promise better content from now on. If you are new and managed to sit through this clickbait video, that's pretty epic. Feel free to comment or subscribe. Both would be pretty cool.
That's really about it. See ya.
Oh shit, a new outro also.
I'm you with me? FML, we're busy, don't care though. SOS, I think I really need help. KMS, good kids, and with help. Yeah, cause I'm gonna kill myself.
Here's a short story for you guys. When I was a wee lad, World War II and the idea of reenacting was so cool to me. I ran into one issue though with World War II gear, specifically with camo patterns that were used. All the information was never in one centralized place, and I would often have to go through countless sources to even come close to the conclusion. Being someone who loved to be spoon-fed information, this was quite annoying. Yes, there are hundreds of videos on SS patterns, but nothing on one of my favorite patterns of the 20th century. What is this pattern? Well, that would be splitter muster. This specific pattern has a huge significance in the history of German camo patterns. However, I could only ever find 1 or 2 single videos briefly explaining the history of the pattern. So now, after hours of research, I have compiled a video so you, the viewer, don't have to go and search through countless websites to decipher actual dates and such. So sit back, fellow viewers, and here comes the plane. This is splitter muster. Ooh, weird, this title has an A at the end. Is that a typo? Something I missed during editing? If you still think it is, that's so silly because why would I even address that in the video? Ignoring the A though for a brief moment, why is splitter muster apparently such a pivotal pattern, and why is it so important as I claimed in the intro? Well, splitter muster was the first German camo pattern that was mass produced. Buntfarbendruck 31 was the original name for what we know as splitter muster. This name change makes it much easier to say for YouTube videos made by non-German speakers, so I'm glad they considered that. A few other names though that this is known as is here's splitter muster, splitter tarn, splitter muster 31, and splitter muster tarn. For this video, I will be referring to it as splitter muster. This pattern was proposed in 1931 and then introduced into the German military in 1932. The pattern itself consists of a destructive zigzag pattern of wood brown and medium green polygons printed on a tan or gray background. The background pattern uses larger brown polygons than green ones. On top of this, it features dark green vertical dashes that are applied. These I'm going to refer to as raindrops. The use of these random dashes is to break up the user's silhouette. So how did the Germans come up with this pattern? According to documentation of the process, it's pretty simple. Let's take our World War I M18 pattern, an iconic Battlefield 1 camo. Now let's throw on some rain lines. This polygon pattern then quickly saw some color change. The ochre color in the pattern was replaced and made into a gray-beige color. This was then revised to give us the splitter muster we know today. So now let's address that typo you might have seen with the random A. Obviously, it isn't a typo, but what does it actually mean? The A designation is for who used it. Originally, splitter muster was made for the Reichswehr. Now you might be curious, who is that? The Reichswehr was what was left of the Imperial Army after World War I. It is best compared to a defense force rather than a true army. With the start of World War II and the birth of the Wehrmacht, splitter muster was quickly issued to almost all over the Heer. As I had also mentioned, this was the first mass-produced German camouflage pattern. So what was it first used on? The first documented use of splitter muster is on the German Zeltbahn, aka their quarter tents. Inspired by the Italian-made Telemimetico tent covers, the Germans applied this pattern to their Zeltbahns. The Zeltbahn had the pattern printed on both sides, one being a lighter tan than the other, which was a darker shade, best compared to a grayish tan. Here's some photos of real-life uses of the Zeltbahn. So another official use of the pattern began around 1942. This was seen with the Heer smock and the helmet covers for the Stahlhelms. Instead of being two-sided with different shades of splitter muster, these articles had one side printed in the pattern while the other side was left white, the white being for snow. Another official piece would come out in April 1942 was their Winteranzug suit. This suit included a padded winter jacket, trousers, hood, and mittens. Just like the smock and the helmet covers, these articles were printed with splitter muster on one side while leaving the other side white. However, only a small amount of these Winteranzug suits were made. So it might seem odd that I call these pieces quote-unquote official. What I mean by that is that many garments and items in splitter muster were field-made or field-tailored. They were done personally by soldiers and were not mass-produced. Some items that were made this way were the service dress uniforms, parachute jump smocks, field jackets, rucksacks, and panzer jackets. Most of these articles were made by using fabric from the Zeltbahns. So a thing you might know about me, if you're a returning viewer, is that I love niche things. What I'm about to show you is one of the most niche things with camo patterns. Something that is hardly ever talked about, especially in English. These are the Here Splittermuster variants. To start off, this is Splittermuster Brown. How is this pattern different? On the light side of regular Splittermuster, the green polygons were replaced with a reddish-brown color. This pattern was likely a trial pattern. However, it was still produced in small quantities, making it quite rare, but very cool to see. Here's a custom-made jumpsuit with the brown pattern. The next pattern shown here is Splittertarn umgekehrte Farben. This pattern is also known as reversal Splittertarn. The difference between this pattern and Splittermuster A is that the brown and green polygons are flipped. This leaves a pattern with larger green polygon shapes and smaller brown ones. This pattern was likely an experimental pattern and is only found in photos on winter uniforms. A fascinating addition to these niche patterns came from the German fear of infrared night vision being used by the US. This fear produced a pattern called Liebermuster. However, it also gave us another Splittertarn variant to talk about in this video. The pattern you see right now on the screen might look very familiar to regular Splittermuster, but just dirty. This pattern is recognized as Splittertarn mit Carbon Überdruck. While one source shows the pattern with a much darker black ink splotches, I couldn't find anything personally on it. Rather, it looks like that many of the Zeltbahns were treated with this black carbon ink to help conceal against the use of IR light. The black was a very stark contrast, causing a better breakup in the pattern under IR. This was seen in 1945 and was quite rare, likely since the war was coming to an end. This last pattern may look very familiar for being such a niche pattern. The nickname may sound childish, but it is called Splittertarn with fluffy edges. The pattern follows the same colors of the original pattern, however the edges are blurred. This pattern looks much like Sumptarnmuster and is likely a transitional pattern. In 1943, this pattern was produced in large quantities. Okay, so this pattern has a B. Clearly there is a reason behind that. The pattern your pupils see right now on the screen is Luftwaffe Splittermuster, also known as Buntfarben Aufdruck and Splittermuster B in German literature. This pattern is assumed to be used no earlier than 1941, hence the 41 at the end of the name. So what makes this pattern so different and special compared to the Here's version of Splittermuster? Splittermuster B is a much more complicated pattern. It's got a lot going on. If you look closely, when compared to Splittermuster A, the pattern is much smaller as well. No, this isn't just me being bad at editing. The pattern consists of many more polygons and corners than the Here pattern, and more green raindrops to break up and blur the pattern. Personally, I feel when most people think of Splittermuster, they think of the Fallschirmjäger pattern more commonly than the Wehrmacht pattern. So what was this pattern used on? The Splittermuster B pattern was used officially on many more items than the Splittermuster A pattern. The most known and seen were on the jump smock, the crude German nickname being Knochensack, meaning bone sack. It was also used on field division jackets used by the Luftwaffe, helmet covers used for the M38 jump helmet, FG-42 bandoliers, and grenade bags. This pattern was discontinued in 1944. Unlike the Here pattern, there are hardly any documented prototypes or variants of this pattern. The only one I could find was quite similar to the Here one. That would be the Luftwaffe Splittermuster umgekehrte Farben pattern. Similar to the Here pattern, this reversal Splittermuster saw the greens and browns swapped, resulting in larger green polygon shapes and smaller brown polygon shapes. It is rumored that this pattern was used for the Mediterranean theater and or the North African theater. Splittermuster umgekehrte Farben was only printed in 1943. So when did the Germans stop using splitter muster? The answer might be different than what you expected. The official uniform use did not end in World War II, but rather in the late 50s and early 60s. I myself did not know this until doing some digging around on the internet. The following portion of this video could not be done without Collection Steve. This person has very well documented the variations of splitter muster used by the early Bundeswehr, and that could not be cooler for this video. So what were these Bundeswehr variants and when were they used? The variants used by the Bundeswehr were standard Wehrmacht pattern, blue variant, green variant, brown dominant in the broad pattern, and green dominant in the broad pattern. Supposedly there's also a palm pattern.
However, I wasn't able to find any verified information on this.
So let's actually start with the standard Wehrmacht pattern. Since we've already discussed this standard pattern enough today, I feel it would be pointless to explain it again. So unfortunately, I don't have any photographs of this camo pattern either. However, it was lately phased out for being too close of a resemblance to that of the Third Reich splitter muster. This pattern had a stark difference in color, though compared to the blue and green variants. The assumption is that this pattern was used in 1955 for only infantry uniforms. Next up is probably one of my favorite Bundeswehr adaptations of splitter muster. This pattern is called splitter muster blue, and if you couldn't tell, it is because of the bluish undertones the back color takes. Splitter muster blue appears to be printed in both 1956 and 1957 based on dates on clothing the pattern is on. The blue pattern was used on infantry uniforms, much like splitter muster pattern, but was also used on the 1956 and 1957 Fallschirmjäger uniforms. Another Bundeswehr adaptation of this camo, with similar dates and uses, was splitter muster green. There's not a large difference, but obviously based with that name, it has a much more green undertone. However, it also had slightly larger raindrops. This pattern was seen on the Fallschirmjäger and Bundeswehr field uniforms in both 1956 and 1957. The next patterns are the broad splitter turn patterns. This had two color variants, which are brown and green dominant variants. The key points in these patterns are the much larger shapes and the much larger raindrops. Both appear to have been manufactured in 1957. Here we have the brown broad pattern. Note that the larger polygon shapes are brown, and the size of the raindrops have increased. It appears to only have been used on the Fallschirmjäger uniforms of the Bundeswehr. Next up, we have the green variant. This pattern appears again with much larger polygon shapes being green, hence the name, and larger raindrops. This pattern was also only used on Fallschirmjäger uniforms. As I had mentioned before, I sadly do not have the photos of the Bundeswehr palm pattern, so this concludes the extent of adaptations used by the Bundeswehr. Splitter muster, like many other German camos, was also adopted by multiple other countries during and after World War II. Splitter muster can be separated into two camo families, the splinter camo family and the raindrop camo family. In this video, I will only be explaining the splinter camo family. A separate video will be made in the future about the raindrop camo family, and I promise that will come out soon. In 1938, Switzerland copied the German splitter muster A camo pattern and adopted it into their military. Throughout the middle and later half of the 20th century, Bulgaria produced a handful of camouflage patterns in the unique splitter muster inspired designs, which consisted of various shades of green and reddish brown on a generally beige background. During the 1950s, the French were inspired to create a small number of camo patterns loosely inspired from their prior occupier's splitter muster. These patterns consist of a dark green or gray geometric shapes and polygons on a beige or light gray background. In a more modern setting, the Swedish military introduced the M90 in 1989, a pattern that was created from dark green, dark olive green, moss green, and khaki geometric polygons overlaid on each other. I won't go over any of these extensively today, but I will in the future if requested. Originally, I didn't know much about this camo pattern at all. I learned a good amount from sources such as Camopedia. The production of this video is going quite well and only including the Camopedia information since this topic was already so lightly touched on. Originally the video was going to be just about splitter muster A and B. That is, until I stumbled on Frontal Filmwerk. During the Frontal Filmwerk video, he explained and showed many unique and interesting examples of prototype and splitter muster variants created during World War II. The process of gaining this information from his video was a challenge because finding an English-speaking source that explained any of these unique or prototype splitter muster variants mentioned in this video was scarce. Frontal Filmwerk spoke German in his video, and I had to translate a lot of that to English just to make this video. Next up, another big contributor to this, and I cannot thank enough, is the user Collection Steve on the IACMC forum. Both of these gentlemen links will be in the description. Lastly, I can't thank AveryGel14, aka the local Lithuanian on Instagram, for not only helping me write and polish the script, also provide better information on the subject than what I had started with. I'll be linking his Instagram in the description as well. Well guys, I can't thank you enough if you sat through this entire video. Because the Flecktarn video did so well and so many people mentioned how much they enjoyed that style of video, I eventually want to branch out and keep researching, reviewing, and documenting the history of camos and maybe other content such as weapons or combat gear. The next video is actually already in the works, so stay tuned for that. If there are any mistakes or historical inaccuracies in this video, please leave the correct information in the comments so others alongside myself can learn more about the topic as well. I did make sure to have as many references as possible to back up these claims, but even that can be incorrect. Also, if you have any other critiques or whatnot, please do comment so I can make these videos better for the viewers.
Hey guys, Lowkxy.egb here. Today we are at Hell's Airsoft and Paintball and we're going to be playing some Airsoft. I can promise every single one of my viewers I will never do that again.
The game is simple. You get shot, leave the castle. Everyone has one life and the remaining team wins. The idea is to hide in the castle to allow the opposite team to learn how to clear rooms. For today's video, I am using the Tokyo Marui G36. The kit I am using is my Fallschirmjäger Regiment 31 kit. My teammate is using a much lighter version of my kit and the USP.
Play it! Shut up, clock in, and load up.
Shit. Hey, dude, first floor, first floor. They're right down there. Yep. They're moving for the stairs. Get them when they come up the steps. Rack it back, rack it back. What? Do you rack it? Try it. Nope,
Fuck.
no gas. Shit.
We're good, we're good. Just watch that step.
Oh, body block.
No, they're gonna... Shit, I don't know where that came from.
Shit, yeah, they're right down here, they're right down here. They're right at the step of the stairs. We got one other guy right here. I can't get a good angle on him. Watch that other side, let me know. I only saw two this way, so.
You might have gotten them.
No, I don't think I did. They had like a really bad angle to hit. They got one other guy with a pistol in the back. They're coming up the steps. Hey, pop up if you can.
He's running the steps.
He's not there. No pop-up. I see them. They're below the stairs.
Gotcha.
They're in that corridor below it. Like the entrance to the stairs.
What color mask?
Shit, here, let me check again. I don't see him anymore.
Got him.
World War I gave a new fear to not just the military but also many civilians. The use of gas was so devastating that in the waking years of what was going to be World War II, many countries made gas masks for their citizens to protect them if such weapons were to ever be used again. Today, we will be covering the French-made TC-38 gas mask. The TC-38 was a gas mask made for French civilian use. This meant not only the everyday citizen, but also for civil defense groups. The mask was made in the late 30s, likely around 1938, based on the name. The mask stopped being produced in the early 40s. Sadly, I don't have an exact date on this. These gas masks definitely saw use, however, especially in the fear of the imminent German invasion. Such masks were made to protect the user from not only harmful gases like the ones used in World War I, but also with dust and debris from bombings. This was extremely prevalent in England with the many German bombings. So now that you know the extremely brief history behind the mask, let's cover the actual mask itself. This gas mask is styled after the French military T-31 gas mask. Both use the same face piece. The main difference with these masks was the T-31 was issued with a hose and bag to wear at the hip. The TC-38, however, came in a can with a filter that would screw into the gas mask itself. The mask itself is made with a rubberized canvas. The area between the eyes is made with just rubber, and then it's stitched into the mask itself. The lenses were made with a glass, and depending on the manufacturer, were reinforced with metal. On the back, it used an elastic harness, which was quite common in gas masks at the time. The gas mask utilized the TSOT anti-fog system to make sure the mask wouldn't fog. This idea was named after Dr. TSOT himself. The way it works is Dr. TSOT believed keeping the lens colder on the inside would eliminate fog. The way that this was achieved in gas masks would be that with every breath the user takes, when they inhale, the cold air coming into the mask would first pass through the lens, cooling the glass and clearing the condensation off of them. The TC-38 changed this slightly from the original TSOT gas mask, however. Looking at the mask, you might notice it doesn't have an inhalation valve like the original TSOT mask. This is due to the mask actually having one on the inside of the filter it came with. Looking at this diagram on the screen, you can see how the cool air from inhaling would be redirected towards the lens using the valves. So in the very rare case that this video makes you want to buy one of these masks, let's go over the sizes they came in. The size is labeled on the side of the mask. Here it will be marked either GT, TO, PT, or TPT. So what does this mean? Well, it means for once in a video, I will not be butchering the German language, but actually the French language this time. GT stood for Grand Taille, which was large. TO stood for Taille Ordinaire, meaning medium. PT stood for Petite Taille, which was small. Lastly, TPT stood for Très Petite Taille, which was extra small. These masks also have many manufacturers. On the screen, you'll see all the companies that manufacture these masks. I just personally don't feel like trying to take a crack at pronouncing these in French today, because I already butchered it enough with the sizes. So with that concludes the coverage of the French TC-38 gas mask. An extremely different change in content this week, but let me know what you think of this style. I have quite a bit of European surplus from the 20th century that I would absolutely love to cover the history of. And anyway, that's all for today, so I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.
the outside building.
Black him head.
He's still alive. He's still. I got 3 shots in him.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
What? Are you trying to stop them? Yeah.
Alright, that's our spawn.
Hey, buddy, you in the green vest.
Hey! What the fuck?
The gang, stop crying.
How the fuck are y'all already all back?
Because our spawn's right here that you ran through.
I ran this way, your spawn's in the corner.
Yeah.
It's right here.
What?
So you might be wondering, Lowkxy, why would you ever want to build a medic loadout? After hours of playing tedious games of Hell Let Loose, I realized it was my one true purpose to save small pixel men on a screen. Because playing the medic in Hell Let Loose is so much fun. Being one of the few to have the Desmond Doss achievement in-game, I thought it'd be appropriate to make this kit in real life to get that same exact experience. So in case you wanted to subject yourself to a fun time, I will be showing you how to make this medic kit down to a T. So to start off, let's see how this kit looks all together. As you can tell, almost 100% accurate. Only thing we are missing is that 1,000-yard stare expression on his face. One could say he hasn't experienced Hell Let Loose. Yeah, I'm done recording this. So yes, there's about 15 medic variations, but I chose to do the most simple because I feel like it shows off this kit better. If you guys really want me to, I'll actually gladly make the rest of the loadouts in real life. So the easiest part of this kit to identify would be the M40 Stahlhelm. Yes, the game says M42, but the design change between the two are very hard to notice on the outside of the helmet. I do actually have a real M42, however it's painted so it really would not work for this video. So let's get back to the M40. Now if you want your own M40, this helmet is super easy to find because there's hundreds of repros of it. For this kit, I'm using the Hessen Antique Stahlhelm. They make a very good reproduction, and honestly, the only thing that would be off is possibly the color. However, I like to imagine to myself that somewhere out there you can find an M40 helmet in the same exact color because Germany made millions of these helmets, and I imagine factories had different paint batches due to supply and overall differences in productions. Now, something interesting with the Hell Let Loose model is the character doesn't wear his helmet with a strap. At all. Not even on top of the helmet. So for this video only, we chose to remove the strap to keep it as realistic as possible. Next up, let's cover the uniform. Right off the bat, I want to correct myself on it before Redditor does. Sorry, Greasy War Nerds, you are right, these are not infantry collar tabs. Instead, I have the Pioneer tabs. This is because this top is not actually owned by me, but by a cool guy named Fred. Fred here does World War II Pioneer kit for reenacting and such. So now that I have fact-checked myself, what top is this? I am using the German M40 tunic. In Hell Let Loose, the lighting makes it hard to tell if the top is an M36 or an M40. The main difference between these two tops in real life is the color. The M36 tops had a green collar, while the M40 was in field gray. The more I look at the model in the game, it does appear to be an M36, but we can ignore that for this video, can't we? As you can see, I chose to roll the sleeves, like the skin in the game. Honestly, I think this looks much cooler and makes a lot of sense as a medic. No one wants to get blood all over their M40 top. The real reason behind this is due to the German uniforms being made of wool. Rolling the sleeves made it much more comfortable to wear during the summer of '44 spent in northern France. The pants I chose were the stone gray pants from at the front. This really completes that German look and rashes from being allergic to wool. Before we go over where you can buy the rest of this gear yourself, I just wanted to take a quick second and ask, what videos do you guys all want to see in the future? I want to make more impression kits based on video games and movies and other silly stuff like that, so comment down below what I should build next from Hell Let Loose. I have to thank Fred Militaria on Instagram. He let us borrow his Wehrmacht uniform and belt to make this video possible in the first place. Next, I have to thank the local Lithuanian for wearing this kit and filming all these segments on a 90-degree day in August. It would definitely make both of them very happy if you went and checked out their accounts that I have in the description. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So let's cover the gear. What makes this kit specifically a medic kit, rather than a rifleman or a machine gunner loadout? You probably said out loud,
Lowkxy, we aren't dumb. It's obviously the armband.
Well, my genius audience, yes, you are definitely not wrong. The armband is an iconic look for any medic loadout. I even went all out to find the correct shade of green as it is in the game. So why is this cross green and not red? Was this a German thing during World War II? No, it wasn't. The green cross was incorporated into the game because of copyright laws with the Red Cross organization. It's something like you can't depict it in video games or other forms of media, or you might get sued or something like that. So to avoid these laws myself, and stay true to the kit, I made my own custom armband, which honestly was not uncommon for World War II. So for this, I took a white bedsheet, some safety scissors, and made sure I had an adult watch me for safety while I cut the sheet. Next, I used clothespins to fit it to size. The green paint I used came from Home Depot, which was pretty epic, and then I made a little cross cutout on cardboard. Anyways, that's enough filler on this armband. So to come back to that question I asked before I went on my little tangent, what makes this a medic kit? Well, another less obvious answer would be the two leather pouches on the front of my kit. These are the German Sanitator pouches. These are what medics used in the Second World War to carry first aid items. When first issued these pouches, they would often be labeled at the top with what contents were in each one. I didn't include this, honestly, because it's not important for the video, but I do plan to make a future video on these, especially with the historical information behind them. So where did I get these pouches from? Good old at the front would be the answer to that. I absolutely love the quality of these pouches. However, my one gripe is how hard they are to access. Seems like a very silly design for first aid stuff, especially if you need it quickly. Now, for something that I even learned while making this impression. Going back to the question I asked at the start of this. What makes this a medic kit? Let's say you knew these pouches were for a medic, and obviously, if you knew that, then you probably figured out the armband as well. But let's talk about a piece of kit so esoteric that you might not even realize it's there. That would be the second canteen I'm using. This right here is the 1937 Sanitator canteen. Originally when making this kit, I figured it was just a normal M31 canteen. I never looked closely at it. So let's go over why it's different and why I needed to spend about half of what I spent on the kit just on a canteen. So looking closely, the first thing you might notice is a little Bakelite cup at the top of the canteen. This is a much different shape than the M31 stove cup that comes with the M31 canteen. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Why not just buy the cup? Well, because if I did that, this video would not be a 1-to-1, and I honestly would not be able to sleep at night. Another key feature is the overall shape of the canteen. Here's a side-by-side comparison. The last key difference is it has a nice leather harness that goes all the way around and connects to the sling, allowing us to fully get that medic look from Hell Let Loose. Sadly, when I purchased this canteen, the sling had almost completely rotted, so I carefully removed it, bought leather on Amazon, and crafted my own sling. Turned out quite nice if you ask me. Don't worry, history geeks, I will be covering the historical aspects of this canteen as well in the future. But for now, let's just keep this to making a 1-to-1 impression. Something I noticed about the German medic is a lack of a gas mask canister on the back. Not sure if they meant to do this, or if it was just the overlap with the canteen strap that made it look bad on the character model. Anyways, let's cover the bread bag. So the Hell Let Loose medic is using the M31 bread bag. This is a simple purchase as almost every World War II reproduction company makes them. The one I have is from At the Front. Now the canteen that is attached to my bread bag is in fact a normal M31 canteen. The one I have on my kit is real, however you can find many repros once again of this, especially on At the Front, Hessen Antique, and Epic Militaria. You can even find these on Amazon. However, a quick little side note is please don't buy these from Amazon, as the colors are usually grossly off. Moving to the left of the kit, we have the bayonet. This is simply a Kar 98 bayonet. I believe this one came from At the Front, however, I bought it off somebody else, so I can never confirm what kind it actually was.
Rusty bayonet, Liebgott.
The frog, no not that one, is a standard Kar 98 bayonet frog, which does in fact come from At the Front. Nothing crazy to say about these two pieces because they are literally standard issue for almost everyone in the German military during World War II. Moving slightly to the left, we have the P38 holster in brown leather. As you can see, once again exactly what the medic uses in Hell Let Loose. Inside the holster is a God-sent Walter. P38 ready for me to use and run around Kursk with. Moving down the kit, let's go over what boots I am wearing for the impression. So this was a tricky one to choose. I'm not sure if it's map dependent, but the Hell Let Loose medic seems to sometimes be wearing low-cut boots and gaiters, or jack boots. Most of the games I loaded into, the medic was wearing jack boots, so that's exactly what I went for. And I honestly feel that the jack boots are a much more iconic look for German impressions, even if they were really only used at the start of the war. These jack boots came from Hessen Antique. If you plan to buy a pair of jack boots, I would definitely recommend on knowing your European foot size properly if you plan to order. These boots are already made extremely uncomfortable just based on the design, so definitely get your foot size correct just so it doesn't add to it. So something I wanted to bring up in this video is the importance of making your gear look used. If you look at the medic in Hell Let Loose, you can tell the uniform is actually heavily used based on the dirt and other stains. This is what really ties in an impression if you ask me. I feel many times reenactors, impressionists, and people just trying to cosplay characters like this will often buy the proper items, however they leave them brand new. I feel the gap between new versus used will hurt an overall impression even if it's 1-to-1 in regards to accuracy. So how do we achieve this? I would recommend looking at which companies you are buying gear from. If you use Amazon or other cheaper quality products such as the items you might find on eBay, the color will often be super off and oftentimes it's almost shiny. This will hurt an impression even if it's the right item. Next, I would recommend having a friend like the local Lithuanian on Instagram. As you can see here, he doesn't care about dirtying himself to get the kit dirty. When getting the kit dirty, using it the way a soldier would works best. Make sure to target the spots that would get dirty if you were in combat. This includes your knees, boots, elbows, helmet, and yes, even face. Here you can see the strong difference between a clean impression versus one that's been dirtied up. Anyways, that concludes today's video. See you guys in the next one. Make sure you subscribe. On this channel, I've covered a whole bunch of German stuff. Uniforms, kits, and even camos. Today, we're going to take a break from that. We'll be taking a field trip to another European country today, Lithuania. Home of abundant forest, nature, beaches, and castles. Pretty much just like every other European country. However, they hold one thing special that we are going to be taking a look at today. What makes this country different? Is it their nationalized love for basketball? Well, yeah, but today, we're not going to be talking about that. Today, we're going to be going over MO5 Misko. M05 Misko. Sounds an awful lot like the Finland's M05 pattern, doesn't it? In fact, you might have even clicked this video thinking that's what it was about. Well, it isn't, and I'm sorry to disappoint. Today, it's Lithuania's turn to have a video. So before I can even start this video, I have to thank the local Lithuanian on Instagram. Not only did he provide us with photos of the M05 Misko, but he also knew much of the history and helped me edit the script so that this video would be easier to understand. Definitely go check him out. Okay, so now that we've cleared that up, let's cover the camo's history. In order to do so, let's actually cover the country's history first. After World War II, Lithuania was occupied by the USSR and was a satellite country. In March of 1990, Lithuania broke away from the USSR.
The Republic of Lithuania has escalated beyond threats to the use of force. Soviet tanks and troops moved into Lithuania's capital, Vilnius, and took over 2 important locations. Here's ABC's Jim Laurie.
The 2 assaults lasted only a few minutes. At the main newspaper printing plant, paratroopers stormed the building. They fired into the air and sprayed the plant with bullets.
While Lithuania gained independence in the 1990s, the issue of independence was not immediately settled. On January 13th of 1991, Soviet forces stormed Vilnius along with the Vilnius TV tower. On this day, 14 people were killed and 700 were injured. Later, on July 27th of 1991, the Russian government did re-recognize Lithuania and the 2 countries re-established diplomatic relations. As this became more common with other European countries that were neutral or USSR satellites, NATO established the Partnership for Peace, or PFP. Romania was the first country to join this program in 1994, and the day after, Lithuania became the second. With this, Lithuania stopped using its Pasamoeba pattern and quickly adopted a copy of the US M81 pattern. So where does M05 Misko come in? Why does this history matter for its development? The official year when M05 Misko was created and put into service changes depending on the source. Some sources claim that it was made and adopted in 2002, others 2003, some even go all the way up to 2004 and 2005. The pattern was likely worked on in the early 2000s to differentiate itself from using patterns seen on US surplus. The pattern, like many other European camos, was first used by Lithuanian Special Forces. The most realistic dates for its creation and adoption are, it was developed in 2002 and first put into service with Litsoft in either 2003 or 2004, then adopted by the rest of the Lithuanian military in 2005. The name M05 Misko has some meaning to it also. M05 means Modelis 05. In English translates to, you guessed it, Model 05. Misko means woodland or forest in Lithuanian. So it's Model 05 woodland. So let's cover the actual pattern. To start off, let's look at the overall colors. M05 Misko is a 4-color pattern. However, there are only 3 distinct colors: rosette brown, verdant green, and black. The 4th color comes with a deliberate misalignment which allows a light tan base to outline the shapes and provide an illusion of depth. So, to go back to that question I didn't even answer, why does the history of Lithuania matter for this pattern? That is actually answered in the symbolism of the shapes they chose for the pattern. The overall shape for M05 resembles that of a jigsaw or leaf pattern. Are you a fan of abstract art? Well, I hope so, because the shape of this pattern is what gives it historical importance. Hidden and hard to notice in this pattern features the Jogailus Kryžius, which is an old version of the French Cross of Lorraine. This is a symbol in the Lithuanian coat of arms. The cross is a strong reminder of Lithuania's independence from the Soviet Union, hence its historical purpose. However, in order to see this symbol, we have to use our imagination to the fullest. Here, I have it outlined to help you see it. It's a lot like those 3D books you would stare at as a kid. Yeah, it takes a lot of imagination, but it's definitely a cool feature in the pattern. Anyways, that concludes today's video. Make sure you subscribe and leave a funny comment. Hope you all had a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Shoot back in the training. Oh, you popped that dude. That looks sick. Fuck yeah. Fuck that crowd match. Oh shit, now we gotta move front. Damn it. Run. Fucking run. Move your ass. Get him. Get him. Slug him. No! baby. Oh, you medic. That's right. We have a medic. That's fucking dope.
He's dead. He's dead. I got him. I'm pushing his rock.
Go, go, go. Run, boys, run. Get in there. Get in there.
Come out of here. You ain't started.
Praise the Lord.
I love Jesus.
Don't we all? Church is clear. Church is clear. Church is clear.
Thank you.
Fuck my ass, dude. Outpost spawn is fucked, so ruins is fucked, guys.
Bitches wanna know me. I'm laughing at your homie. Oh no, who's he? Sorry that I'm nosy. KYI, doesn't know that you're with me. FML, what if you don't care though? SOS, and I think I really need help. KMS, who I can't stand this how. Yeah, cause I think I'm gonna kill myself. Schön im Kreis, eine tote Seele für die Ewigkeit. Alles endet so, wie es einst begann. Du liegst in deinem Bett und hast die Windeln an.
Fucking German kid, dude, I swear to God.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation?
I'm your host, Lowkxy here, and let's get right into the news. If you guys haven't seen, we hit 1K subs, which is pretty freaking cool. I really can't thank you all enough for the support. This growth has been crazy to me since we just started posting like 8 months ago. I'm not gonna lie, ever since my childhood and me having unrestricted access to YouTube, I've always wanted to make my own videos, so this is pretty epic, and it's really completing a childhood dream to me. In all seriousness, thank you all so much for the support. Going forward, I do have a serious question though. What kind of content should I be making more of? What kind of content do you all prefer over others? I've already got a post schedule done until the end of the year, mostly so I can see what videos do well and what I want to continue posting myself, but I also really wanted to ask all of you who are subscribed to me as well. Obviously, the camo history videos will continue since those do well, and many of you have reached out with your own information on esoteric patterns even I don't know about. Also, the impression kit videos are here to stay. Absolutely love covering those and breaking down kits. Don't worry, I will be showing more non-German kits in the future as well. If you also haven't seen yet, I have started my own new series where I take real-life operator photos and break down the kit to the last pouch because I think that's cool content and doesn't really exist on YouTube yet. It also pushes you to build your own super accurate impressions and one-to-ones. As you might have noticed, I didn't mention anything about airsoft videos. I don't know how you all feel about it, but the airsoft content will probably be super limited from here on out besides Milsim West stuff. Everyone and their mother, their cousins, and their cousin's dog post airsoft content, and it just isn't super original. Me posting Milsim West content will be more about documenting the events rather than, I can't believe this airsoft cheater did this. Now, if you just jumped up and started yelling, Lowkxy, I subbed to you only for your airsoft gameplay, let me know in the comments how much of an outrage this is. I might have to reconsider it, but chances are there will still be a stray video every now and then. Well, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I really can't thank you all enough for helping me hit this milestone.
An das deutsche Volk. Seit der Reichsgründung ist es durch 43 Jahre mein und meiner Vorfahren heißes Bemühen gewesen, der Welt den Frieden zu erhalten und im Frieden unsere kraftvolle Entwicklung zu fördern. Aber die Gegner neiden uns den Erfolg unserer Arbeit.
Auf Wiedersehen!
Fuck you guys! Fuck you guys! Fuck you guys!
A common theme on this channel has been discussing German camouflage patterns. We've already discussed the first mass-produced German camo pattern, and we've already covered, honestly, the most known being Flugtarn. So today, we're going back in time again to discuss the birthplace of German camo patterns, back to the war to end all wars, World War I. As usual, today's video couldn't just be a simple video on a pattern that there's already thousands of videos and sources about. This pattern, in fact, being so niche again, made it slightly harder to find even the true name of it. For today's video, we are covering Buntfarbenanstrich. Now this camo has quite a few other nicknames. Some know it as the stained glass pattern, others know it as a turtle shell pattern. However, for today's video's sake, we are going to be calling it Buntfarbenanstrich. With this camo, let's cover the brief history and creation of it. Throughout World War I, the most exposed part of a soldier in a trench was obviously the head. With that being mentioned, many helmets at the time would go a bright shine if they were wet under moonlight, which easily gave soldiers away. Now introducing Buntfarbenanstrich. This pattern's date varies roughly online. The reason for it is since it wasn't a true issued pattern, no gear was field issued with it already. Rather, the pattern was hand painted and not required. Using a World War I model's guide, they claim the pattern saw more and more use in July of 1918. The pattern was for sure likely after 1916, so between then and the end of the war is the general idea of when the pattern was used. Some German sources claim the pattern was used on tanks first in 1916, and then the pattern was moved to helmets in 1918. So I want to say 1918 should roughly be the date that this pattern really was used. So with that being out of the way, let's discuss the actual pattern itself. The name translates to colorful paint in German. With this pattern being hand-painted, differences are expected. Since the colors were not enforced, the soldier would often change out colors to suit their terrain the best. The pattern usually consisted of sharp-edged camouflage patches in the colors rust brown, green, and ochre yellow, which were separated from each other with a thick black line. So how did individuals alter this pattern? The ochre yellow color would often be switched out with another shade of green, depending on how much grass was still left, or the color of mud. If the terrain was more rocky, the soldier might use more grays and replace either the brown or green to achieve this. Going off the model guide again, I believe the way they suggest you paint models would be the closest to how soldiers actually painted their helmets. The way it recommends you go about this is adding simple polygon shapes of colors that you would want to choose. Then, you separate them with a dark black line. Honestly, this is seen in most of the helmets that are left over from World War I, and it is a very cool look. So what was this pattern seen on? Well, obviously, this pattern is mostly known for being painted onto helmets. However, as I mentioned earlier, it was also seen on tanks and even trucks throughout the war. Nothing else was issued really in this pattern, so you don't see it on uniforms or anything like that. While there isn't much information out there on this camouflage pattern, I still find it very cool and fascinating because it did give birth to the splitter tarn and other German variants. Because this pattern varies on the individual, here are a few separate examples of how the helmets were painted and the differences you're going to see not only in color, but also the shape and size of the polygons. I do hope to eventually buy one of these helmets myself. With that being said, everything you see in today's video, I just found simply online. If one of these photos is yours, please let me know in the comments and I can totally remove it if you guys don't want it up, or I can give credit as well. Anyways, that ends today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's up guys, Lowkxy.egb here. Today, we're playing at Motor City Airsoft. Today's game mode is basically like Counter-Strike. It's a one-life game mode where once you're shot, you're out. What's the objective of this game? So either you can eliminate the whole other enemy team, or the terrorist can plant the bomb on either bomb site. So today, we're playing as the counter-terrorist, and we're going to stop this team single-handedly.
Shut up, clock in and load up.
Guten Morgen!
Please remember if you are hit, you must sit down and wait for the next round.
We're defending. Yeah.
Yeah, but we just came in late so we can sit down.
Oh, okay. No!
I'm going to spawn. My gun works.
Alright, sick.
It's just my mags didn't want to be good.
Oops, sorry. Oh, you hit? Sorry. Is everyone dead in there? Alright. Wait, oh shit.
Two 2010 was a special year for me. We witnessed silly bands, Bakugan, pencil toppers, and arguably the best movie to exist. While I was enjoying these simple things as a child, the German KSK probably had one of the hardest kits I have ever seen. And today, we're going to cover that. As a collector of German kit, this KSK kit is probably my favorite. Honestly, the mix of Flecktarn with the American DevGru influence, you really couldn't ask for more. So today, I present just a simple impression. This is no one-to-one video, and this isn't the only KSK video I'm going to make. Trust me, I've got loads more I want to do with this KSK kit in the future. A beautiful piece I got to add to my collection recently was this German Flecktarn Gen 2 Cry Repro Combat Top. There's something really special about that apple green stretch material Cry chose to use. Yes, I said this is a repro top, and it's something I really want to change in the future. This top was a special Roman Kermaz commission, and honestly, like most of his work, he absolutely nailed it. However, I haven't shown any reference photos yet. That is not like me at all. The KSK used these combat tops around 2010 to 2013, and honestly, though they weren't super common, are one of my favorite things about this kit. For the pants, I am wearing the Star 2010 dated KSK Einsatzkampfhose. These are a staple to the kit, and as you can see, we see these in countless reference photos. So let's jump to the helmet. This is the MSA TC APH. Often this helmet is compared to the TC 2001. Yes, they are different. On my APH, I have added the Lowkxy NVG cloth. This is for the Lowkxy NVG, of course. Both of these pieces are some of my favorite issue things that I own. Moving down, I'm using Comtac 2s. Once again, we see all three of these items in countless KSK reference photos. The balaclava I'm using is operator's choice, of course, but if you like the look of mine, it's the Black Hawk balaclava. Let's take a quick break for a special message. This kit would not be possible without two very specific people. One of the main reasons why I built this kit would be the Gear Locker. Please go check out his account, since he absolutely nailed this impression, and he's continued to make and improve a 2017 KSK kit that goes so hard. Another guy I have to thank is Fralem01 on Instagram. He sold me almost all my issued pouches and helped me source the ones I was missing. Anyways, definitely check these two guys out. The plate carrier. This is a Linderhof Tactic Gen 3 in 5 Farb. This is an extremely iconic piece for KSK kit. On this, we are running 3 old gen magazine pouches. Most of these were issued in 2010 too, which really adds to the realism for me. Being able to look down at these small tags when in an airsoft gunfight is something else. Going to the right of the plate carrier, I am using an old gen double mag pouch. Once again, seen in many reference photos. Next to that, we have the old gen LHT GP pouch. Okay, so onto the back. Once again, we have another very clear thing ran in most reference photos. We are using the LHT 3-liter Hydro Pack in 5-farb. So to come over to the left side of the kit, I am running an ACU radio pouch. I really like the separation from Flectarn on the carrier, and yep, you guessed it, it is accurate. Next to that, we have the old gen LHT IFAC again in 5-farb, and once again, kosher. The belt is another iconic piece for this kit. This is the LHT LT 1024 battle belt in tan. For the inner belt, I am running the Eagle Industries rigger belt. Like everything else in this video, you see this combination in many reference photos. Let's cover what we see on the belt. Starting with the right side, we have the Surface C holster for the USP. Inside that, we have our USP, of course. Moving to the left of that, we have the TIP 15 in Coyote. Definitely a cool addition that separates this from most airsoft kits. Now next to that, we have a horizontal GP pouch. Moving on, we have something very interesting on the left side of the belt. Before we get to that though, I have to point out another LHT magazine pouch. Okay, so if you didn't notice that, we are running a Flectarn drop leg. Like 90% of this kit, this is also made by Linderhof Tactic. As you can see here, on the drop leg, we have 1 frag pouch and our 4-cell 40mm pouch. I actually did this setup based off this exact reference photo. So that is the major pieces of kit. We've gone over the uniform, plate carrier, helmet, and even belt setup. However, before we wrap up today's video, I want to cover a few other specific pieces of kit as well. Another one of my favorite items, yeah, I've probably said that about 15 times already in this single video, is going to be these yellow Petzl gloves. Once again, this just breaks up the kit so well and adds another color. Another cool and kosher addition to this kit would be the knee pads made by Arc'teryx that I am wearing. Honestly, I feel like the solid black looks so cool on this kit. For the rifle, I'm using the G36KA1. I do need to work on this though, because there's quite a few inaccuracies with it. As always though, and most other impressionists will understand this, honestly, kits are never done. There's always room for changes, and I will definitely be doing more updates to this kit in the future. So that wraps up today's video. This really is one of my favorite kits because everything is from 2010 and that really makes this kit just so much more accurate and fun to use. Sadly, this kit won't see much use at Milsim West with Camper Van switching to the 2017 KSK Direct Action Kit. I do plan to keep it however though, because it's really one of my best done kits. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Sorry that I'm nosy, yeah, why I, so you know that you're with me, FML, what I'm using, don't care though.